The arrival. The vast expanse of space had always held mysteries, but none quite like this. On a crisp autumn morning, as the sun peeked over the horizon, alarms blared through the halls of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. Dr. Samantha Chen, lead astrophysicist, burst into the control room, her eyes wide with a mix of excitement and trepidation. "What do we have?" she demanded, her gaze fixed on the massive screens lining the wall. Her colleague, Dr. James Rodriguez, swiveled in his chair, his fingers dancing across the keyboard. "Sam, you're not going to believe this. We've detected anomalies in the Kuiper Belt, multiple objects moving in formation." Samantha leaned in, her breath catching as she studied the data. "That's impossible. Those trajectories, they're too precise to be natural." As the team worked feverishly to analyze the incoming data, a pattern emerged. Whatever these objects were, they were heading directly towards Earth, and they were moving fast. "We need to alert the government," Samantha said, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "This isn't a natural phenomenon. We're dealing with something alien." Within hours, the news had spread through the highest levels of government. In the Situation Room of the White House, President Elena Martinez sat at the head of the table, her face a mask of concentration as she listened to the briefing. "Madam President," General Michael Thompson began, his voice grave, "based on the data from NASA and our own military satellites, we believe we're dealing with a fleet of extraterrestrial vessels. They're using some form of advanced cloaking technology, which is why we didn't detect them earlier." President Martinez's eyes narrowed. Cloaking technology, like in science fiction. Dr. Chen, who had been flown in for the briefing, stepped forward. "Not exactly, Madam President. They're bending light around their ships, making them nearly invisible to most of our detection methods. It's only because of some recent advancements in our deep space imaging that we notice the gravitational effects they're having on nearby objects." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe, and their first visitors were arriving unannounced and in secret. "What are our options?" the president asked, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. General Thompson cleared his throat. "We've already begun mobilizing our forces, Madam President, but against technology this advanced, I'm not sure how effective our current defenses would be." Dr. Chen interjected, "If I may, Madam President, I believe our best course of action is to continue observing and gathering data. We need to understand what we're dealing with before we can formulate an effective response." President Martinez nodded slowly, her mind racing with the possible ramifications. "Agreed. Dr. Chen, I want you and your team working around the clock on this. General Thompson, put our forces on high alert, but keep it quiet. We don't want to cause a panic." As the meeting adjourned, Samantha found herself staring out the window at the Washington Monument in the distance. The world looked the same as it always had, but she knew that everything had changed. Humanity stood on the precipice of a new era, one that could redefine their very existence. Over the next few days, the alien fleet drew closer, their presence still hidden from the public eye. Governments around the world were discreetly informed, and a global task force was assembled to address the impending arrival. In labs and military bases across the planet, scientists and strategists worked tirelessly to prepare for every possible scenario. They developed new scanning technologies, hoping to pierce the aliens' cloaking devices. Military forces ran drills in secret, preparing for both peaceful first contact and potential hostile engagement. As the fleet entered the outer edges of the solar system, tension mounted. The entire fate of humanity hung in the balance, dependent on the intentions of these mysterious visitors. Samantha worked around the clock, poring over the data, trying to glean any information she could about the aliens' technology. "If we can understand how they're bending light," she mused to her team, "we might be able to develop a way to see through it." It was during one of these late-night sessions that a breakthrough came. Dr. Rodriguez burst into the lab, waving a tablet excitedly. "Sam, I think I found something." He pulled up a series of complex equations on the main screen. Look at these patterns in the light distortion. They're not random. There's a frequency to it, almost like they're pulsing. Samantha's eyes widened as she studied the data. James, you're a genius. If we can isolate that frequency, we might be able to develop a way to detect their ships. As dawn broke over the JPL, Samantha made a call to the White House. Madam President, she said, her voice tight with excitement, we've made a breakthrough. We think we can track the alien ships. President Martinez's voice came through, tinged with hope. That's excellent news, Dr. Chen. How soon can we implement this? Samantha took a deep breath. We're still working on the details, but delays, maybe a week at most. We'll need to recalibrate our satellite network, but once that's done, we should be able to see them. Good work, Doctor. Keep me updated on your progress. As Samantha hung up, she felt a mix of excitement and dread. They were one step closer to understanding these mysterious visitors, but what would they discover when they finally pulled back the curtain? The alien fleet continued its approach, unaware that humanity was slowly piercing their veil of secrecy. As Earth held its breath, the stage was set for a first contact that would change the course of human history forever. First contact. The day of first contact dawned bright and clear, a stark contrast to the tension that gripped the halls of power around the world. In a secure underground facility beneath the plains of Nebraska, a team of diplomats, scientists, and military personnel prepared for humanity's first face-to-face encounter with an alien species. Dr. Samantha Chen stood before a mirror, adjusting her suit and taking deep breaths to calm her nerves. She had been chosen as part of the welcoming committee due to her role in detecting the alien presence. Beside her, Ambassador Javier Reyes, a seasoned diplomat with a calm demeanor, offered a reassuring smile. Ready to make history, Dr. Chen? He asked, his voice steady. Samantha nodded, managing a small smile of her own. As ready as I'll ever be, Ambassador. The team made their way to the massive hangar that had been converted into a reception area. At its center stood a large, circular platform surrounded by various scanning devices and defensive measures hidden from view. The air was thick with anticipation as they took their positions. Suddenly, a shimmering distortion appeared in the air above the platform. It rippled and twisted, growing larger until it formed a swirling vortex of light. From within this portal emerged 3 alien figures. They were tall, easily 7 feet in height, with slender, elongated limbs. Their skin was a pale, iridescent blue that seemed to shimmer in the light. Large, almond-shaped eyes dominated their facial features, glowing with an inner light that shifted between shades of purple and green. As the portal closed behind them, the aliens surveyed the room with an air of quiet confidence. The central figure, distinguished by elaborate markings on its forehead, stepped forward and raised a 6-fingered hand in greeting. Ambassador Reyes mirrored the gesture, his voice clear and welcoming. On behalf of the people of Earth, we bid you welcome to our world. The aliens' response came not as sound, but as a series of images and sensations projected directly into the minds of the humans present. Samantha gasped as she felt the aliens' thoughts brush against her consciousness. We are the Zarketh, the alien communicated. We come in peace, seeking new worlds to share our knowledge and culture. As the initial greetings were exchanged, Samantha couldn't shake a feeling of unease. Despite the Zarketh's assurances of peaceful intentions, something about their demeanor felt off. The diplomatic talks proceeded, with the Zarketh expressing interest in Earth's resources and offering to share some of their advanced technology in exchange for the right to establish settlements on the planet. They spoke of cultural exchange and mutual benefits, painting a picture of a harmonious future between their two species. However, as Samantha listened, she noticed discrepancies in their story. The Zarketh claimed to have only recently discovered Earth, yet their knowledge of human languages and customs seemed too comprehensive for such a short period of observation. During a break in the talks, Samantha pulled Ambassador Reyes aside. "Something's not right," she whispered urgently. "Their story doesn't add up. And have you noticed how they never directly address our questions about their cloaking technology? Race frowned, his diplomatic mask slipping for a moment to reveal his own concerns. I've noticed. They're hiding something, but we can't confront them directly without risking a diplomatic incident. We need more information. As the talks resumed, Samantha paid closer attention to the Zarketh's subtle reactions and the underlying emotions that accompanied their telepathic communications. She began to sense a current of smugness, almost condescension, beneath their friendly facade. It was during a discussion about the proposed alien settlements that Samantha caught a stray thought from one of the Zarketh. An image flashed in her mind: vast cities spreading across Earth's landscapes, humans relegated to small, controlled areas. The thought was quickly suppressed, but not before Samantha grasped its implications. Her heart racing, Samantha excused herself from the meeting, rushing to a secure communication room. She quickly contacted President Martinez, her voice urgent as she relayed her suspicions. "Madam President, I believe the Zarketh are lying to us. Their true intentions are to colonize Earth, not to coexist peacefully. They think we're unaware of their cloaking technology and are underestimating our capabilities." There was a moment of silence on the other end before the president responded, her voice grim. "That aligns with some of our own intelligence. Dr. Chen, I need you to continue the talks as if everything is normal. We can't let them know we're onto them. In the meantime, we'll accelerate our plans to counter their technology." As Samantha returned to the meeting, she found it difficult to maintain her composure. The friendly smiles of the Zarketh now seemed sinister, their offers of cooperation a thinly veiled prelude to conquest. The talks concluded with promises of further meetings and cultural exchanges. As the Zarketh prepared to depart, their leader turned to Samantha, its eyes seeming to bore into her soul. "We look forward to a long and prosperous relationship with humanity," it communicated, a hint of amusement coloring its thoughts. Samantha forced a smile, even as she felt a chill run down her spine. "As do we," she replied, her mind racing with the challenges that lay ahead. As the aliens disappeared through another shimmering portal, the human delegation let out a collective breath. The first contact had been made, but it was clear that this was just the beginning of a dangerous game of deception and strategy. Ambassador Reyes approached Samantha, his face grave. "I hope you're ready for what comes next, Dr. Chen. We're going to need your expertise more than ever." Samantha nodded, her determination overriding her fear. "Whatever it takes, Ambassador. We've got a planet to save." As they left the hangar, Samantha knew that the real work was just beginning. Humanity would need every ounce of ingenuity and courage to outmaneuver an enemy that had already underestimated them. The fate of Earth hung in the balance, and the clock was ticking. Human ingenuity. In the weeks following the first contact with the Zarketh, Earth was a hive of clandestine activity. On the surface, preparations for cultural exchanges and diplomatic visits continued, but beneath this veneer of cooperation, humanity raced against time to develop defenses against the alien threat. Dr. Samantha Chen found herself at the heart of this secret war, leading a team of the world's brightest minds in a desperate effort to understand and counter Zarketh technology. The vast underground complex that had hosted the first contact meeting had been rapidly converted into a cutting-edge research facility, codenamed Project Prometheus. Samantha stood before a holographic display, her eyes scanning the complex schematics of a Zarketh cloaking device. They had managed to salvage tiny fragments of alien. She rushed to his lab, where James was standing before a large screen displaying a map of the solar system. "We've detected movement," he said without preamble. "A large contingent of the Zarketh fleet is on the move, heading towards Mars." Samantha's breath caught in her throat. They're establishing a forward base, she realized, preparing for their invasion. The next few hours were a whirlwind of activity. Samantha briefed the president and top military officials on their technological breakthroughs and the Zarketh's movements. Plans were quickly formulated, balancing the need for action with the importance of maintaining the facade of ignorance. As dawn broke over the facility, Samantha stood before her team, her face etched with determination. "What we've accomplished here is nothing short of miraculous," she said, her voice carrying across the room. "But our work is far from over." The deception. As the Zarkef fleet positioned itself around Mars, Earth's leaders faced a crucial decision. The instinct to confront the aliens immediately was strong, but cooler heads prevailed. President Martinez, in consultation with her advisors, decided on a bold strategy: continue the charade of ignorance while secretly preparing for conflict. "We need to buy time," she declared during an emergency meeting of the Global Defense Council. "Every day we can delay them is another day for our scientists and military to prepare." And so began a dangerous game of deception. On the surface, diplomatic relations with the Zarkef continued as planned. Cultural exchanges were arranged, with small groups of humans visiting the alien ships, while Zarkef delegates toured Earth's major cities. Dr. Samantha Chen found herself at the forefront of this charade, using her scientific expertise as a cover for gathering intelligence. During a tour of a Zarkef vessel, she marveled outwardly at their technology, while her enhanced contact lenses secretly scanned and recorded everything she saw. "Your propulsion systems are truly remarkable," she gushed of her Zarkef guide, a tall alien named Zorax. "How do you manage to achieve such speeds?" As Zorax launched into an explanation, carefully avoiding any mention of their true capabilities, Samantha's keen mind was piecing together the bits of information she could glean. The ship's layout, the positioning of key systems, the subtle energy fluctuations. All of it was being analyzed and transmitted back to Earth's hidden research facilities. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the reverse engineering efforts continued at a feverish pace. Dr. Aisha Patel had made significant progress in replicating the Zarkef's quantum harmonic technology, while Dr. Marcus Donovan's team was close to a breakthrough in disrupting the alien cloaking fields. "We're close to a prototype," Marcus reported during a secure video conference. "But we need more data on their shield frequencies to make it truly effective." Samantha nodded, her face grim. "I'll see what I can do on my next visit. But we need to be careful. I think they're starting to get suspicious." Indeed, the Zarkef were not as oblivious as the humans hoped. Subtle changes in their behavior suggested growing wariness. They began to restrict access to certain areas of their ships and became more guarded in their conversations. During one tense meeting, the Zarkef ambassador, Kalthar, fixed Samantha with an unnerving stare. "Dr. Chen, your curiosity about our technology is admirable, but surely a scientist of your caliber must realize that some knowledge is too advanced for humans to comprehend." Samantha felt a chill run down her spine, but maintained her composure. "Of course, Ambassador. We're just eager to learn from our new friends. There's so much we don't understand about the universe." As she left the meeting, Samantha couldn't shake the feeling that their time was running out. The Zarkef were clearly growing impatient with the slow pace of their cultural exchange program. Her suspicions were confirmed later that week when a coded message was intercepted by Earth's newly enhanced detection systems. The message, sent from the Zarkef fleet around Mars to their homeworld, spoke of accelerating the integration process and preparing the human population for assimilation. When President Martinez was informed, her face hardened with resolve. "It's time to move to the next phase," she declared. "We can't wait any longer." Operation Shadowfall was put into motion. As the Zarkef prepared for their grand reveal and subsequent takeover, humanity set its own plans in motion. Military forces were quietly mobilized under the guise of routine exercises. The new quantum detection systems were brought fully online, providing real-time tracking of every Zarkef ship in the solar system. In labs around the world, the final touches were put on humanity's secret weapons. Cloaking devices based on Zarkef technology were installed on a select number of stealth craft. Disruption fields designed to neutralize alien shielding were mounted on satellites and ground-based installations. Through it all, the deception continued. Samantha and her team played their parts perfectly, maintaining the illusion of naive curiosity and cooperation. But beneath the smiles and handshakes, a storm was brewing. The tension reached its peak during a gala event organized to celebrate the friendship between humans and Zarketh. As dignitaries from both species mingled in a lavishly decorated hall, Samantha found herself face to face with Kelthar once more. "Your people have been most accommodating, Dr. Chen," the ambassador said, its eyes gleaming with barely concealed triumph. "I believe it's time we moved our relationship to the next level. Tomorrow, we will make a grand announcement to all of humanity. The dawn of a new era is upon us." Samantha raised her glass in a toast, her smile never wavering. "We look forward to it, Ambassador. I'm sure it will be a day to remember." As the Zarketh delegation departed, confident in their impending victory, Samantha slipped away to a secure communication room. Her hands shook slightly as she contacted President Martinez. "Madam President, it's happening tomorrow. They're planning to drop the act and begin their takeover." There was a moment of silence before the president's voice came through, steel in her tone. "Understood, Dr. Chen. You've done exemplary work. It's time for us to show these aliens what humanity is truly capable of." As Samantha ended the call, she took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. The game of deception was coming to an end, but the real battle was just beginning. Humanity had played its part perfectly, lulling the Zarketh into a false sense of security. Now, it was time to turn the tables. Turning the tables, the dawn of humanity's day of reckoning broke with an eerie calm. Across the globe, people went about their morning routines, unaware of the monumental events about to unfold. In secret bunkers and command centers, however, the atmosphere was electric with tension and anticipation. Dr. Samantha Chen stood in the heart of Project Prometheus, surrounded by banks of computers and holographic displays. Her team worked feverishly, making last-minute adjustments to their systems and running final diagnostics on their newly developed technologies. "Status report," she called out, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Dr. Aisha Patel looked up from her console. "Quantum harmonization fields are at 100% efficiency. We're ready to deploy our cloaking devices. Disruption arrays are online and calibrated," Dr. Marcus Donovan added. "The moment we give the word, we can light up every Zarketh ship in the system." Samantha nodded, a grim smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Excellent work, everyone. Now we wait for their move." They didn't have to wait long. At precisely 9:00 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every television, radio, and internet-connected device across the planet was suddenly hijacked by a Zarketh broadcast. The alien faces of Kelthar and his delegation filled screens worldwide as they began their prepared speech. "People of Earth," Kelthar's telepathic voice resonated in the minds of billions. "The time has come to reveal the true purpose of our arrival. Your planet has been chosen to become part of the glorious Zarketh Empire. Resistance is futile. Your technology is no match for ours. Submit peacefully, and you will be granted a place in our new order." As the aliens continued their grand proclamation, detailing their plans for Earth's integration, Samantha keyed her comm link. "Madam President, they've made their move. We're ready on our end." President Martinez's voice came through, resolute and clear. "Execute Operation Shadowfall. Good luck, Dr. Chen. The hopes of humanity rest with you and your team." Samantha took a deep breath and gave the command. "Initiate quantum disruption fields. Bring our ships online. Let's show these aliens what humanity is really capable of." Across the solar system, hidden satellites and ground-based arrays sprang to life. Waves of quantum energy pulsed outward, specifically tuned to interfere with the Zarketh's advanced technology. On screens throughout the command center, the previously invisible alien fleet suddenly flickered into view. Kelthar's speech faltered as alarms blared throughout the Zarketh fleet. The aliens' expressions of smug superiority morphed into shock and confusion as their ships' cloaking fields failed and their weapon systems went offline. Before the Zarketh could react, humanity launched its counteroffensive. Squadrons of fighters, equipped with reverse-engineered cloaking technology, seemed to materialize out of nowhere. They streaked towards the alien ships, firing weapons specifically designed to penetrate Zarketh's shields. In orbit around Earth, larger warships that had been disguised as satellites revealed their true nature, their powerful weapons trained on the now vulnerable alien vessels. The element of surprise was total and devastating. Samantha watched the battle unfold on the holographic displays, her heart pounding. "It's working," she breathed, scarcely able to believe it. "We've actually caught them off guard." The Zarketh, reeling from the unexpected attack, struggled to mount a defense. Their superior technology, which they had relied upon so heavily, was being turned against them. Ships that managed to get their systems back online found their weapons ineffective against Earth's new quantum-harmonized shields. As the battle raged in space, ground-based defenses easily repelled the few Zarketh forces that attempted to land on Earth. The aliens' careful plans for a swift takeover crumbled in the face of humanity's prepared and united resistance. In the command center, Samantha and her team worked tirelessly to coordinate the global defense efforts. They adjusted disruption fields, redeployed assets, and analyzed Zarketh communications in real time to stay one step ahead of the alien tactics. "They're trying to regroup around Mars," Dr. Rodriguez called out, pointing to a cluster of alien signatures on the main display. "They might be attempting to call for reinforcements." Samantha's mind raced. They couldn't allow the Zarketh to summon help from their homeworld. "Direct our long-range disruptors to that area," she ordered, "and get me aligned to Admiral Zay's fleet." Within moments, she was connected to the commander of Earth's space forces. "Admiral, we can't let them call for backup. I need you to push through their lines and take out their command ship." Admiral Zaya's voice crackled over the comm. "Understood, Dr. Chen. We're on it." Samantha watched with bated breath as Earth's flagship, the ESS Defender, led a charge towards the heart of the Zarketh fleet. The massive ship, a testament to human engineering and the newly acquired alien tech, plowed through the enemy's disorganized defenses. In a dazzling display of firepower and tactical prowess, the Defender and its escort ships engaged the Zarketh command vessel. The battle was fierce but brief. With its defenses compromised by Earth's disruption fields, the alien ship stood little chance against the concentrated assault. A cheer went up in the command center as the Zarketh flagship erupted in a brilliant explosion. Without central leadership, the remaining alien forces fell into disarray. "They're retreating," someone shouted, pointing to the holographic display where Zarketh ships were frantically jumping to FTL, fleeing the solar system. Samantha allowed herself a moment of elation before refocusing on the task at hand. "Don't let up," she commanded. "Maintain disruption fields at maximum power. I want every last one of them out of our system." As the hours passed, the tide of battle decisively turned in humanity's favor. The Zarketh invasion force, once so confident in their superiority, was routed. Those ships that could still function retreated, while others were captured by Earth's forces for further study. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Admiral Zaya's voice came through the comm once more. "Dr. Chen, I'm pleased to report that the last of the Zarketh ships has left the solar system. We've won." A stunned silence fell over the command center, broken only by the soft beeping of computers and the distant sounds of celebration beginning to erupt outside. Samantha felt a wave of emotion wash over her, relief, pride, and a deep sense of awe at what they had accomplished. "Well done, everyone," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "We've just made history." As the reality of their victory sank in, Samantha knew that this was only the beginning. Humanity had proved itself on a galactic stage, but with that triumph came new responsibilities and challenges. The universe had just become a much larger, more complex place. But for now, as she looked at the tired but jubilant faces of her team, Samantha allowed herself to savor the moment. Against all odds, humanity had turned the tables on their would-be conquerors. They had faced an advanced alien threat and emerged victorious. The Zarketh had underestimated human ingenuity, resourcefulness, and determination. It was a mistake they, and any other hostile aliens, would not soon forget. Earth had announced its presence to the cosmos in no uncertain terms. Humanity was here, and they were a force to be reckoned with. A new era. In the weeks following humanity's victory over the Zarketh, Earth was abuzz with a mix of celebration, relief, and a newfound sense of purpose. The truth about the alien invasion attempt and humanity's secret preparations had been revealed to the public, sparking a global conversation about the future of the human race in a universe now known to be teeming with intelligent life. Dr. Samantha Chen found herself at the center of this whirlwind. As one of the key figures in Earth's defense, she had become an overnight celebrity, her face plastered across news channels and social media platforms. But for Samantha, the real work was just beginning. 1 month after the battle, she stood before the United Nations General Assembly, preparing to address representatives from every nation on Earth. The chamber was packed, with billions more watching the live broadcast around the world. Taking a deep breath, Samantha began her speech. Distinguished delegates, citizens of Earth, we stand at a crossroads in human history. Our victory over the Zarketh was not just a triumph of weapons or technology, but a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. We faced an advanced alien civilization intent on our subjugation, and we not only survived, we prevailed. She paused, letting her words sink in before continuing. But with this victory comes great responsibility. We have announced our presence to the cosmos in no uncertain terms. We cannot go back to seeing ourselves as alone in the universe. We must move forward as a united species, ready to face whatever challenges or opportunities the galaxy may present. Over the next hour, Samantha outlined a bold vision for humanity's future. She proposed the formation of a global space agency, combining the resources and expertise of all nations to accelerate human expansion into the solar system. The technological leaps made during the conflict with the Zarketh had opened up new possibilities for space travel and colonization. We have the chance to become a true spacefaring civilization, she declared, to extend our reach beyond Earth and secure humanity's future among the stars. The response was overwhelming. Nations that had long been at odds found common ground in the face of this new frontier. The Global Space Initiative, GSI, was formed, with Dr. Chen appointed as its first director. In the years that followed, humanity made rapid strides in space exploration and colonization. The Moon, once a distant goal, became home to permanent research bases and the launching point for deeper space missions. Mars, which had nearly become a forward base for the Zarketh invasion, was transformed into humanity's first extraterrestrial colony. The captured Zarketh technology proved invaluable in these efforts. Earth's scientists, building on the breakthroughs made during the conflict, developed more efficient propulsion systems, allowing for faster travel within the solar system. The quantum harmonization fields that had been used to disrupt alien cloaking devices were repurposed to create protective shields for spacecraft and colonies, guarding against cosmic radiation and micrometeorites. But perhaps the most significant development came 5 years after the Zarketh invasion, when Dr. Asha Patel and her team announced a breakthrough in faster-than-light travel. Building on the principles of the alien quantum drive, they had created Earth's first functional FTL engine. The day of the first successful test flight was one of global celebration. Samantha stood in the control room, watching with tears in her eyes as the ESS Pioneer disappeared in a flash of light, reappearing moments later at the edge of the solar system. "We did it," she whispered, squeezing Aisha's hand. "We've opened the door to the stars." As humanity's reach extended further into space, they encountered other alien civilizations. Some were wary, having heard of the defeat of the once mighty Zarketh. Others were curious, eager to learn about the species that had so quickly risen to prominence in the galactic community. Earth's diplomats, drawing on the hard-learned lessons from the Zarketh encounter, approached these new relationships with a mix of openness and caution. Alliances were formed, trade agreements were negotiated, and cultural exchanges flourished. Humanity, once isolated on its small blue planet, became an active participant in galactic affairs. 10 years after the invasion, Samantha found herself once again addressing the United Nations. The chamber looked much the same, but the faces had changed. Alongside human delegates now sat representatives from a dozen alien species, a testament to Earth's new position in the galactic community. A decade ago, we faced extinction, Samantha began, her voice strong despite the years. Today, we stand as equals among the stars. We have colonies on Mars and beyond, outposts in neighboring star systems, and ships exploring the farthest reaches of our galaxy. She smiled, looking out at the diverse assembly before her. But we have not forgotten the lessons of our past. Our strength lies not in conquest or domination, but in our ability to adapt, to innovate, and to work together in the face of adversity. As we move forward into this new era, let us carry these values with us, sharing them with our new allies and facing whatever challenges may come as a united humanity. As applause filled the chamber, Samantha felt a sense of pride and hope wash over her. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with both promise and peril, but she knew that humanity was ready to face it. They had looked into the face of an advanced alien threat and not only survived but thrived. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned, and humanity, tempered by adversity and driven by an unquenchable spirit of exploration, was ready to answer that call. The age of Earth was over. The age of humanity among the stars had begun. As Samantha left the podium, her mind was already racing with plans for the future. There were new worlds to explore, new civilizations to meet, and endless possibilities stretching out before them. The Zarketh invasion, once a potential end for humanity, had instead become the catalyst for their greatest adventure. And somewhere out there in the vast expanse of space, Samantha knew, other challenges awaited. But whatever the universe might throw at them, she was confident that humanity would face it together, with the same ingenuity, courage, and determination that had seen them through their darkest hour. The future was bright, and it belonged to the stars.